Hi, I'm Dan Witte, Congregational Chairman at Trinity. It gives me great pleasure to tell you that we are opening up for public, in-person worship on June 21st.
Hi, I'm Kendall Cook, Spiritual Life Pastor here at Trinity. I'm the new guy who was just getting to know all your names before this whole pandemic came to us.
Hi, I'm the old guy. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have some tears in my eyes when I get to say, welcome home to Trinity, and there's actually people in the sanctuary.
We're here to talk about all the precautions and steps we'll be taking when we get back together for worship.
Let me begin by saying, this is going to be different. We are all longing to get back to the way things were. But when you get back into the sanctuary, it will not be the same. We'll have tears of joy, and we will have tears of sadness. I think it's going to be kind of like what it was for the Old Testament Jews in the book of Ezra. When they started to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, decades after it had been destroyed, some people had tears of joy, others had tears of sadness because they remembered what it had been like, and they knew what it was now going to be like, and it wasn't going to be the same. I think we're going to be able to relate to that.
But there is a reason that things are going to be different, and it can be summed up in one word, and that word is love. We all have different preferences, we all have different opinions about what we'd like to see, what we wouldn't like to see, what we'd like to have to do, be able to do, and not do. But what we also understand is that it's not about me, it's not about my preference. Scripture really helps us when it has us prioritize our loves, and that's the principle that we're using and we've used from day one in crafting this plan to reopen. Love God first, but then the second is to love my neighbor, love someone else before myself. So it goes God first, my neighbor second, and then me, I come in the last. And so with that in mind, if wearing a mask during service, if socially distancing, if doing something that I'd maybe rather not do based on my preference, if that is going to make someone else feel more comfortable and be able to worship and love their God more, then as a Christian with Christ in my heart, I'm going to gladly give that freedom up.
And so the first big difference is the times of worship. Sunday morning worship will now be at 7:30, 9:30, and 11:30. This is to allow extra time between services to sanitize everything. We will also be starting up Tuesday night services at 7 p.m.
Another change is that we will have 50 people here in the sanctuary and another 50 people in the fellowship hall.
Which means you'll have to register ahead of time for the service and location you want. You can sign up at our website, trinitycrete.org. The link will also be emailed out every week through our e-tidings. And if you don't have internet, you can call the church office.
So when you come, we're asking that you don't come more than 15 minutes before the service that you signed up to come. Because what that's going to allow us to do is to allow time for proper sanitation to take place between the services. So we don't want you to come before we've got everything sanitized. Also, if you've signed up for a service in the fellowship hall, we're asking that you would come and use the south door off of the parking lot from our church. If you've signed up to attend in the sanctuary, come in through the glass doors. The first thing you will see when you come in is a hand sanitizer station and masks. We are asking everyone to wear masks, so if you forgot to bring yours, that's okay, you can grab one here. There will be a table if you would like to pick up a worship folder, but you won't need one for worship because everything will be on the screens. We will not be reusing these. There will also be children's bulletins, but there will be no pens in the pews, so you'll have to bring your own if you want your kids to use these.
Once you are in the sanctuary, every other pew will be available for seating, and the wings will not be available. This is to allow distance of 6 feet between family groups or individuals. In the fellowship hall, the chairs will already be 6 feet apart. As far as the order of worship, it'll be very similar to what we're doing online and have been for the last few weeks. There'll be minimal singing. a song at the beginning and a song at the end. The nursery will not be available at this time also. And the offering will not be gathered during the service. Instead, you can drop an offering in a plate as you leave the sanctuary. And of course, we're going to continue our electronic giving options, giving at trinitycrete.org, or using the GivePlus app, or even text to give. We will resume our regular pattern for offering communion, offering it on the first and third Sundays of the month. How we distribute it, though, will be different. We won't be coming up in groups of people. Instead, it will be offered in a continuous distribution so that people can stay 6 feet apart. And it will be here on the main floor, not up at the altar. We'll also continue using these little individual communion sets that we've been using for private communion these last few weeks. When you do come up the aisle, please keep 6 feet away from someone that is not your family. Come to the table and pick up what you want. There's the regular bread and wine in the middle. There's the bread and grape juice, and also gluten-free bread. If you haven't used these sets before, you turn it over for the bread, break the seal, and then turn it over for the wine or grape juice. After you pick it up, walk over to the pastor, pull down your mask, open it up, and eat the bread. And then walk over to the assistant, break the seal, and drink the wine. And then throw away the set in the trash and go back down the side aisle. After church, you'll be ushered out.
When you leave, you will go out a different door than when you entered. If you're worshiping in the sanctuary, when you leave, you will be going out the wood doors in the front of church. As you leave, there'll be a table for your offering and also to recycle the worship folders if you don't want to take one home. When you leave the fellowship hall, you'll go through this door. There will also be a place for your offering and worship folders. We are encouraging people to not gather inside the building, which is one of the reasons why we will not be serving coffee or snacks like we usually do between the services. But if you're comfortable with it and you'd still like to socialize with people, feel free to do so outside as long as everyone is comfortable.
All of this is a lot. We're doing it out of love and to meet people where they are at, which brings something else to mind. If you have a pre-existing condition that makes you vulnerable, if you live with someone that is vulnerable, if you're sick, if you just don't feel ready or comfortable to be around a crowd, please stay home. Do not feel bad that you aren't coming to the sanctuary. We will not judge you or look down on you. We will welcome you whenever you're ready to physically come here. So, if that's you, keep on worshiping online. The technology that has made it possible for us to worship all these weeks is not going away. We are a family of believers, whether we are in this building or our homes.
To wrap up, I just want to say thank you for you who participated in the survey that we had sent out. It really did help us in preparing and planning for all of this. And it did show what a great willingness you have to worship at a different time if need be, or in a different location if need be. I just want to say what a great family of believers we have here at Trinity, and I'm so proud to be part of this. It also shows how this building really is not important. We have a beautiful building, but church isn't about a building. Church is a group of people, a family of believers. And here at Trinity, we have an amazing family of believers. A family of believers who shares the gospel of Jesus, to reach out, to bring others to Christ, and to nurture God's family, and doing that all to the glory of God. May God bless us as we start getting together in person, as we worship together still online. May God bless us wherever we are as a family of believers.